Welcome back, and let's just do a quick look at what the markets were like last week. The equities market extended losses last week, with the all-share index dipping further by 1.11% to close the week at 41,472.10. Market capitalization closed at about 15 trillion naira. Now, the market recorded 4 days of losses, which offset the gain on Thursday. All sectors, indices, insurance, industrial goods, consumer goods, and oil and gas posted losses this week, except the banking index, which gained 3.31%. Meanwhile, FTN Cocoa and Unitycap led the 46 stocks that recorded losses, while GlaxoSmith led the 32 stocks that posted gains. Now, despite the losses, traders say the overall outlook for the equities market remains positive, supported by still positive macroeconomic fundamentals. And at the unlisted securities market, the index was down 1.30%, and the market capitalization closed at 448.5 billion naira. The volume traded was 40 billion, while the value was 2.56 billion naira in 4 deals. At the fixed income market, the Treasury bills market recorded some bearish sentiment. Average yield rose by 6 basis points to close the week at 14.89%. Investor sentiment was negative across the mid and long ends of the curve, but yields contracted at the short segment. In 231 deals, a total of 60.16 billion naira was made. Meanwhile, at last week's primary market auction, 5.40 billion naira, 8.39 billion naira, and 40.18 billion naira of the 91-day, 182-day, and 364-day bills were allotted by the CBN. The bills were 1.48 times oversubscribed, with a higher stop rate on the 91-day and the lower stop rate on the 364-day bills. The stop rate on the 182-day bill closed at 13%, same as in the previous auction, and dealers expect yields to drop in the coming week. That's this week, supported by expected buoyant system liquidity. And at the bond segment of the fixed income market, trading was mixed, however, with a bearish tilt as average yield rose marginally by 1 basis point to close at 13.53%. Investors sold off at the short and mid ends of the curve. Our yields at the long end contracted, led by the April 2037 bond. A total of 45.5 billion naira was realized in 164 deals. Meanwhile, at the bond auction on Wednesday, the DMO allotted 10.05 billion of the July 2021 notes, that's the reopening, 8.91 billion naira of the March 2025 notes, that's new issue, and 45.10 billion naira of the February 2028 reopening, again at respective marginal rates of 13.40%, 13.53%, and 13.60%. And dealers expect lower yields in the short to medium term, reflecting falling inflation rate, strengthening expectations of monetary easing, and the FGN's new debt management strategy. All right, the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Clinics, an initiative of the Office of the Vice President in partnership with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment and 11 federal agencies, was launched in January last year to create a platform for micro, small and medium enterprises to interact with federal agencies and obtain practical and on-the-spot solutions to their business challenges. It's over a year now since this initiative came on board. Let's get to know how much has been achieved. I'm being joined by the Special Assistant to the Vice President on MSMEs, Mr. Tola Johnson, joining us from our Abuja studio. Good morning. Hello, Tola. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, and good morning.
So, tell me, why is the MSMEs Clinic an important strategy for the development of that sector at this time?
Okay. So, when the government came in, we felt it was necessary to understand the workings of the MSME space, the dynamics, and to get an overall view of what the problems are in this space. And to do that, we couldn't just sit in Abuja here and make assumptions. So we needed to move from states to states, regions to regions, to properly articulate what the issues are and how to quickly resolve those issues, basically. And that was why at the SME Clinic, we came up with, in partnership with the Ministry of Trade and Investment and the different federal government parastatals who regulate the space in that MSME. That's the NAFDAC, CAC, SON, about 14 different federal government parastatals who we know regulate affairs of the MSMEs. We go into a state in partnership with the MSMEs, the state government, and ask the MSMEs, what are your major issues in this state? What do you need the government to quickly address in the state, basically? So last year, we had gone to 11 states last year. And from state to state, after going to about 3 states, we sit back to review what we've heard on the field and look at how we can quickly fix whatever the issues are. Other than, because if you keep going from state to state and you do not sit back to review, it becomes a regular event where you just go in, after going in, you come out, people take pictures, and it's done. So His Excellency the Vice President asked that, for continuity's sake, we also set up one-stop shops. Now, what one-stop shops do is that when you leave the state, the same number of agencies that are present in that state will now have a building given to us by the state government where they will be domiciled. So as an SME, if you have any issue after the event must have held in your state, you can go back into this building to say, listen, I have for instance, I have a NAFDAC-related issue. It will be solved there. I have a CAC-related issue, or my issue is a DBN-related issue. So it will be solved there. And in cases where these issues are not able to be solved right there on the spot, it's escalated to FCT, and the necessary actions are taken.
The fact